The Caribbean Explained, Part 1. Located to the south of the United States and north of South America is a region home to over 7,000 islands, islets, reefs, and cay, along with incredible natural wonders. We are speaking of the Caribbean. Hypothetically speaking, if you wanted to visit a Caribbean island every day, it would take you about 19 years to cover all of them. Talk about a literal definition of a lifelong adventure. Collectively, the islands are also known as the West Indies, but can be grouped into three main categories: the Lucayan Archipelago, the Greater Antilles, and the Lesser Antilles. Hello and welcome to Caribbean Vagabond, where we explore the history, economies, culture, and food of this amazing group of islands. More than just a tourist hub, the 16 sovereign countries and 24 territories that make up this region make it one of the most diverse destinations in the world in terms of language, politics, culture, and natural phenomena. Alright, let's dive into part 1 of this video. First on our list is the lush tropical islands of Antigua and Barbuda. While it is often referred to as the twin island state of Antigua and Barbuda, this country actually comprises of three main islands: Antigua, Barbuda, and Redonda. The island of Antigua is home to approximately 97% of the country's total population, while Redonda is uninhabited. Antigua is famous for its 365 beaches, one for each day of the year. These beaches draw a large number of tourists and often rank highly among the world's best beaches. With such breathtaking beaches, it's not surprising to note that tourism accounted for approximately 60% of the country's GDP in 2019. The country's highest peak was once named after former U.S. President Barack Obama. Next up is the Bahamas. Spread across 100,000 square miles of the world's clearest waters, the Bahamas has been famously called the most beautiful place from space. Though there are 16 major islands, the archipelagic state consists of more than 3,000 islands, cays, and islets in the Atlantic Ocean. That's right, the Bahamas isn't bordered by the Caribbean Sea. However, it is still considered part of the Caribbean due to similar cultural, political, and historical ties with other Caribbean nations. The Bahamas has a population of about 400,000 and attracts as much as 7 million tourists yearly, most of them from North America. Home to the third largest barrier reef on the planet, grand resorts, and delicious food, the Bahamas is truly paradise on Earth. Now we make our way to the birthplace of international sensation Rihanna. Occupying the most eastern part of the Caribbean, Barbados has one of the highest human development indices in the Caribbean. The 2021-22 UNDP Human Development Report ranked Barbados at 70 out of 191 countries. This serene island is home to approximately 280,000 people and is considered to be the birthplace of the grapefruit, a cross between sweet orange and a pomelo. Even though it is a relatively small island, Barbados is still very much recognized in the world. The country's Prime Minister, Mia Mottley, was named as one of 100 most influential people of 2022 by the Times magazine. Let's not forget, their national hero Rihanna recently leveled up to billionaire status. Next up is the unspoiled jungle paradise of Belize. Bordered by Mexico on the north and the Caribbean Sea on the east, Belize has some of the most incredible rainforests and jungles in the world. It is also the only country in Central America where English is the official language. Despite its small population, Belize has an extremely rich history, which is evident in the diversity of culture and languages. Belize is also famous for having the second largest barrier reef in the world. The country has a long-standing territorial dispute with its neighbor Guatemala, and following a referendum in May 2019, Belizeans voted to send the matter to the International Court of Justice for arbitration. Up next is the largest island in the Caribbean Sea, Cuba. Cuba is a long and narrow island home to just over 11 million people, thus making it the most popular country in the Caribbean. It is also the largest country in the Caribbean by total area, stretching 750 miles from east to west. Cuba's landscape is also diverse, ranging from mountain forests to jungles and grasslands. And let's not forget incredible beaches. With a mix of indigenous, African, and European influences, this island offers diverse food, captivating music, and incredible art. Like its nearby neighbor, the Dominican Republic, baseball is quite popular in this country, and it has one of the best men's baseball teams in the world. Since 1959, Cuba and the United States have strained diplomatic relations. Following years of sanctions, under President Barack Obama, the U.S. softened its policy towards Cuba and normalized diplomatic relations, which were subsequently reversed by the Trump administration. Current President Joe Biden has taken steps to ease some of the Trump administration restrictions. Next on our list is the nature isle of the Caribbean, Dominica. Boasting a population of roughly 70,000, Dominica is the youngest and one of the smallest islands in the Lesser Antilles. Popularly called the Nature Island of the Caribbean because of its impeccable, lush natural environment and the presence of some of the rarest and most exotic animals on the planet. Dominica is nothing short of a paradisiacal haven. Up until 2013, the country's national dish was the mountain chicken. Don't let the name fool you, the mountain chicken is actually a frog. Also known as the giant Dutch frog, it is called locally in Dominica as the mountain chicken due to its large size and the fact that it is consumed as food. Up next is the country which Dominica is often confused with, the Dominican Republic. Even though the Dominican Republic might have a somewhat similar name to the previously mentioned country, and nationals from both Dominica and the Dominican Republic refer to themselves as Dominicans, that is where the similarities end, at least in terms of population and geography size. Apart from having the largest economy in the Caribbean with a GDP of US $94.45 billion in 2021, the Dominican Republic is also the second largest country in the Caribbean by total area, and the third most populous country in the region with a population of approximately 11 million people. With its diverse landscape, it also boasts of having the Caribbean's tallest mountain peak, standing at approximately 10,417 feet or 3,175 meters. Moving on to the island of spice, Grenada. This hidden gem and unspoilt island consists of the three main inhabited islands, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, and several smaller islands. With a population of approximately 113,000, it is known as the Spice Isle because of the variety of spices such as nutmeg, cloves, ginger, and cinnamon that the country produces. In fact, this relatively small island is one of the world's top 10 producers of nutmeg in the world. A true testament to the fact that smallness is never a hindrance to greatness. That's it for part 1 of this video. I'm sure you can already begin to see how diverse the Caribbean is. If you've made it this far, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share this video.